very tactical T side and you know the utility to do it, then that demands a level from the CT side. But if you don't know those names, if you don't know that set util, it falls into, again, that sort of puggy reality, right? It's the Dust 2s of the world, the Mirage of the world. It's very simple. So it's kind of a what teams make of it map, and that leaves, when you're at this level, a lot open to interpretation, right? I mean, we're diving into the pistols, so we should probably get into it. And there's two smokes, there's a flashbang, there's a molly, which suggests to me that NASR have got an idea how to play this one.
Well, I'm hoping so, because I don't want to see a stomp as we had back on Inferno. I want a more competitive showing here to end things out, because this is the final map. This is where everything's on the line. One spot at the Asia RMR, and well, both of these teams have been deserving at points. It's been a back and forth best of 3 overall. And well, a 1-for-1 trade, a back and forth beginning to this round as well. The smokes are down, although there is a massive gap on the right side, so it looks like NASR want the fights and remind. Putting in a good effort for sure, taking out one, taking the advantage, and it's extended by Propla before he goes down. Allowing, I was going to say, them to reposition and set up for the after plant, but Blue Phoenix is managing to put up a fight.
They've got kit available as well. It's just on to more, but the smoke's gone too deep, and Bibu and Realize will combine. First of many required for NASR, but it's a nice start as well. As you said, a bit of a gap in the smokes, but that's something that can be corrected. A nice idea with the utility. Showing some promise early on, as the Force Buy will be coming in from GG. How they're going to give this a crack with a handful of Deagles and a couple of MP9s. Face Crack and Blue Phoenix to try and get something done. But again, that T-side second round buy is always so much nastier. 3-4 Galils, in fact. 1 AK-47. A boatload of utility picked up here. JJHmeztal lurking blind. I think he thought that he caught the timing there and that Blue Phoenix couldn't possibly be his wrong side, but very quickly wrong-footed. A nice opening for the CT side as well. It takes a lot of control away and should allow them to start rotating that stack into a better position.
I was a tiny bit surprised he didn't try and walk into the smoke to get the weapon. I guess worried that there was multiple players still waiting on the other side of it. If he dropped his own gun, they probably start spamming it and then he gets caught perhaps out in the open. So understandable, just wanting to hang on to this advantage that he's given his team. Well, it's allowed them to take a bit of a stack over towards this A-bomb site as well. One player playing in around the lane. Flash forward actually to see if that MP9 can do anything. Unfortunately for Face Crack, it cannot in this case. Smokes again down on the bomb site. Leaving the right one open so they can take the fights, and it works for the trades again. A 3-on-2, make that a 3-on-1. As Blue Phoenix, the man to kick things off, is now the last man standing. And, well, I would say saving could be worthwhile, but it looks like he wants to see if there's any damage that can be done. Fortunately, he finds the double peek, and with that, 3 players left standing for NASR, a pretty solid anti-force buy. Now they'll be up against just the pistols. I wouldn't imagine really much more than maybe upgraded P250s and such. So they have a chance to really start building the economy. And this is already a dramatic improvement from what we had on map number 2.
It's a clean start, isn't it? Dealing with the Force Buy. Getting now to the opportunities. Propler and Realize will look to farm up here. Get some movement in the old bank account. As you said, very little investment into this one. You've got a couple of P250s, a 5.7. I like the idea of bringing a couple of flashes into the equation as well, but they're actually solo over towards B. Would have maybe rather seen them down the ramp somewhere they could really have some effect. JJHDavCost tucked in. We'll have an opportunity on the dinks, but again, nothing comes through. The flashes are dropped harmlessly, and as much as Moore gets a kill, very quickly mopped up across the board. Face Crack down the A ramp, not really in a position to do anything at this point. I mean, he'd ideally nab a kill somewhere on this map, but not really going to be too much left to say. Having said that, he's worked his way quite swiftly up towards B. There's 2 bodies on this stairwell, including the bomb. He gets the first, but JJHmeztal is lightning quick on the trade, not having any of that nonsense as NASR start a clean 3-0.
Indeed. Now the guns come out, the op available for JJHDavCost as well, so you really begin to find out what GG have in store here on Vertigo. As we said, at least the Israeli core does have some experience here, even if it was a loss against one tap the Romanian team. On the other hand, NASR, they don't really seem to have any maps in their history. Whether they practiced it though is a different story, as they are looking pretty decent here in these early rounds. So we'll see if they can keep that up or not. I mean, they'd love to be able to just come out swinging and have a very decisive T-side similar to JJH's Inferno. It would be a nice way to very quickly forget about how Inferno went for them. Focus looks to be towards this ramp control. Nothing too crazy, waiting out the smokes, and well, there is 2 players nearby, but they're not in great positions to actually work off each other.
Crack's in a rough old spot here as well to get one, but now he's isolated and through the smoke, through the wall. Bibu will find his connection. NASR looks for the trade, but it leaves him vulnerable to those Mac 10s again, just running and gunning his realize. Finds his team that man advantage. Nice early protocols here from NASR. Just starting to work their way up towards this A site. Bomb still to be picked up, so it's a little bit chaotic now. Remind stuck in towards the lane. They will take that control, boosting over the top of it this time, trying to get an angle for one of these rifles. More peering atop the smokes. Now not given anything to really work with. JJHDavCost has found a bit of a gap as well. The molly will force him back, but now he's got a chance. The smokes have faded. Remind his shoulder in the angle, but he goes down. More mollies, flushing him into the flames. Bibu will trade, but now the boost comes in more. With an early kill, his teammate rotating in, but it's 1v2 now for Blue Phoenix. He's got a HE. JJHmeztal low on HP will go down to that, and huge damage onto Bibu as well. 1v1 as he looks to get this bomb dialed in. Blue Phoenix not pushing the issue. Bomb will be planted. Money made for the T side. Now he needs the shot though, and Blue Phoenix is quick on the draw. JJH, their first of many must-win rounds for the CT side. They get it done, but the buys are going to keep on coming from NASR.
Yeah, and with it only being 1 player left standing, certainly not ideal. The economy was already there. There's a bomb plant as well for NASR, as you said, so they'll have everything that they need to try and just come striking right back and potentially leaving JJH's economy at that point in a very, very rough position. They've already got a limited bit of weaponry here with a FAMAS coming out. More should have an M4. Not going to have much utility behind this, so he actually decides the FAMAS is the better way to go, understandably. This is a very crucial round, really, for both of these teams. As we said, everything is on the line here. You can forget the 2 previous maps. It's basically just the best of 1 to decide who gets that spot in the Asian RMR.
Big best of 1 to play. Limited utility, as you said. Both teams on breaking point. Big swing round early on here. JJHDavCost to be tested in towards mid, and he passes it with flying colours. Trade is made, but face crack, edge of the smoke. Wants to push this issue as well. It's chaos across the board. Ends in an even 3-on-3, and the T side won't mind that. The defense is split. Limited knowledge of what's going on now. They're going to work their way up, NASR, in towards mid. Looking to split the difference here. JJHDavCost starting to work his way into a position to do something. Blue Phoenix starting to think about a flank. Timing's all over the shop here. It's going to be reaction times and not a lot else. Blue Phoenix, if he works his way towards the ramp, should be able to confirm that's open. JJHDavCost with free reign over this mid angle. But he turns. Looks the other way, and at what could be a critical moment. They're pinching the A side, but the bomb is working its way round towards B. Nobody's seen it yet, let alone realize what's going on. There's timings everywhere, but they're going to make their way down. The B site is wide open for the taking in this 3-on-3, and they're going to take it. Bomb to be planted. Utility still available to stall this as well for the T side. There's nothing left for the retake on JJH. 1 flashbang for JJHDavCost. Up against 4 flashes and a molly available as well for JJHmeztal. That could buy so much time if he gets it down well. Here comes the flash. Swing into the angle early. JJHmeztal finds a quick kill. Molotov goes down. 7 HP, but he gets it out, and that buys time. Flashes to follow to make it even uglier. He's buying so much time from his advanced position, and he gets another. JJHDavCost goes down, and that's the round. Hmeztal will try and save this AWP. He needs to give his team something to work with in the next, but that's a big result for NASR.
Yeah, just a bit of a risk taken, trying to stack things, keep the stack rather towards A, and a few unfortunate diamonds, as you mentioned, leaving them just completely open on that B side of the map. And well, even with a saved op right now, there's not really going to be much purchased up behind it. They have 2900 loss bonus, so maybe a few pistols, a couple flashes perhaps to maybe open up some early opportunities for that AWP, but it should be 5-1. NASR off to a fantastic start here on Vertigo. Again, we said we had absolutely zero clue what either of these teams were going to give us here. We thought JJH, at least with the momentum of Inferno, would be able to keep things perhaps interesting in the early stages, but no, they really are struggling. The op immediately dropped as well. JJHDavCost goes down. It's at least going to be recovered by Meztal, who at the moment is struggling, but overall has been one of the more impressive players, in my opinion, from JJH.
Certainly looked it. Problem is, now they've heard that AWP ring out. NASR will adjust the plan, work their way back around towards B. Walk a long way away on this rotation. Utility comes in. Molotovs to clear as many of these angles as they can before the rifles have to make their way in, and it is an absolute dump of utility. Blue Phoenix still up and kicking though, and he catches men with nades out. Early pick. Wants a little bit more. The flashbang is good. Blue Phoenix dancing, buying time, gets another face crack on the backstab, finds one more, and this is a demolition job. Somehow Remind is 1v4, and his flank has been red as well. GG how? A 4v5 conversion with just the pistols, and look at all the rifles they get as a result.
That'll do it. They even dropped one of the ops because they didn't want to stick with a double op setup. But yeah, Meztal, I mean, what was it? JJHDavCost goes down initially. Meztal picks up the op. Doesn't even have to use it until the last moment of the round because it's the pistols that get it all done. A great job up close, of course, from Blue Phoenix, getting a kill, doing some damage, and just keeping them stuck on the stairs for that flank to be able to get into position, which, of course, did put the nail in the coffin, really. Fantastic now from JJH. Let's see if they can capitalize on it because the force buy has come in, but it's quite weak. There's an off an AK and some pistols to try and get this done for NASR, and well, an opening kill from Blue Phoenix is incredibly promising for JJH.
Great situation to put themselves in. You win those half buys and it just boosts you so much financially. JJHmeztal looking to be a thorn in the side though, does find a pick over towards B. Blue Phoenix goes down, splits the defense, and again, it's a rifle that Remind can try and be a little cheeky around, can try and grab, backs away cleanly. A little more firepower to work with now. Still 1 minute and 5 left on the clock, plenty of options available. Remind back in that AK away, and it looks like they want to give the A site another prod.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to know their smokes and such. They only have one, unfortunately, but they have been willing to put down just the left side box smoke and at least give the players coming out alley a bit more freedom from the headshot angle. Oh, nice catch though on Meztal. A bit of an off angle being played and he's not able to get anything off the back of it. That seems unfortunate, as we said. Has been having a bit of a slower start into this game so far. And that was a necessary pick for NASR with the health that they have on a couple players right now. They needed to alleviate some pressure, and definitely done so by giving them the numbers advantage and giving over a bomb plant as well. Small bit of damage on the spam, but nothing substantial up until that point where FaceCrack gets himself an opening kill.
That's a rough one as well. One of the rifles down. BB with a dink, but it's through the box. Quickly traded away. JJHmeztal and realize to try and clutch this one up. Make it just JJHmeztal. Already tagged down low. Catches one on the edges of the smokes. JJHDavCost trying to play from on high. Back up is defuse and lands the shot as well. It's a valiant effort on the force buy. But NASR can't quite get it done. Third round on the board. CT side starting to stabilize a little bit as well. It feels like we've got a game on our hands.
Yeah, I'm liking it. Bomb plant goes down, sure, but the loss bonus wasn't there for NASR, so the best they can do is a few pistols. An eco comes in, it's going to be tied up at 4-4. Most likely. Maybe I've jinxed it by saying that. We'll see. I said it just to make it more interesting, Wolfie. I swear. The jinx is real, like, it happens so often, even though we know it can't possibly be real, it is real.
It certainly feels that way. D was into this one. Opportunity for a good old jinx here. Rifle should be able to dispatch this cleanly. Grouping up in towards mid, wanting to take the fight. JJHDavCost has been lurking around this angle a lot. Boost up, watched, spotted. JJHDavCost picks off one. The rifle swings in for 3 in quick succession. JJHDavCost does go down in the meanwhile, but that AWP's recoverable. And it's a clean set piece from JJH, leveling things out at 4 apiece. Neither team willing to let go just yet, though. The force fire will come in from NASR. And again, that economy, it's not set yet for JJH. They've got a round in the back pocket here, but if that goes wrong, very possible for NASR to build back into this.
Sorry, my dog's been a bit loud. Hopefully it's not being picked up. Yeah,
oh, it is.
Oh, it is? Okay, I'll let you take it.
Poor dog.
She's starting to chill now, but I feel like it might be only for a moment. We'll see. Or not. She just likes meeting people. always gets excited, and well, an exciting opening kill here from NASR might be able to start turning the tide once again. Put a stop to the streak of rounds that seem to have, as you said, stabilized things. Oh, I like the aggression though. Good map control. Seems like they're willing to give it up though. Yeah, leave one. There we go.
Timing could be everything here. Remind's going to back away from it. Work his way back up towards this A site. Join the rest of the team. It's a nice idea, the aggression. The problem is it puts them a long way away on a rotation. Molotov forces JJHDavCost off the lane. That should allow the control to come through. A little bit of wallbang as well, just to make absolutely sure. And now the utility starts to be dropped. Hmeztal and JJHDavCost for now cutting lonely figures inside of the site. Blue Phoenix fast on the rotation, but the mollies continue to keep him passive. Hmeztal should have a freebie here. Propler low on HP will go down. Rest of the team working their way up the ramp. A little bit of spam, not connecting. They've got the site, but Bomb is still passive. Bomb's yet to work its way up, and that's going to result in more picks coming through. Hmeztal finally goes down to realize it's an even 3-on-3, but there's no longer smokes. No longer utility to lock this one out. The one-way start to come in. JJH looking to lock them out of the site here. Blue Phoenix spotted, tagged, not dealt with. 15 seconds. They have got to get into this site now, NASR. And they realize it. Pop flashing in, realize he's got to get this plant. Goes behind the boxes. Should be able to land it safe. JJHmeztal playing his guardian angel. Gets one. Realize still up and kicking inside of the site. Finds another, and JJHDavCost can't do anything about it. NASR, with the rifles back in their hands, find the response.
Yeah, finally a bit of life being brought back. They won't be able to break the economy in one, but the economy, the money didn't actually build up as much as JJH maybe would have hoped for. They've got everything for now, but there's very little left over after this investment. So, a chance for NASR to take a 6th and probably even a 7th off the back of it if they're able to do so. Although they are limited somewhat. A Mac-10 and a Galil mixed in there with the buy. Quick ramp control looking to be taken. Some nade damage at very least will land on JJHmeztal, but for now, Hmeztal, he's pretty much pushed up alone. Although his teammate, I believe, getting flashed forward to try and take the peak from the scaffolding. Hmeztal will find one. The retreat attempted. Surprisingly so, he actually dropped the smoke and then still fell back off. Leaving himself exposed, and Facecrack also going to be hunted down in towards the alley. So an advantage actually taken from for NASR. Those weaker weapons really making the best of it. Unfortunately, a ton of damage was sustained in the process.
A lot of damage done. Can the conversion be found is the question. Backing out of the A site, having found their man advantage, NASR will work their way back to B. Again, plenty of utility to plan this execute. Blue Phoenix, the only player inside of this site, and there's a Molotov that could well clear him out. Here comes the utility. Molotovs go in. Blue Phoenix left alone for now. Molly countered by Moore, and that should stall them out. They're going to try and charge towards the Jennies, but there's still Blue Phoenix still up and kicking. The trades work out beautifully, and Moore finds another. That's bombed down. As Propler is left in a 1v2, he's got a little bit of time to work with here, trying to play the edge of the smoke, but nobody's pushed site yet. Moore and JJHDavCost don't actually know what's up. It was a little disjointed, this offensive, so it's allowed Propler to just work his way slowly but surely towards this site. His first issue will be Moore. Tucked in on this left-hand side. JJHDavCost looking for a peek as well. Missed shot. Propler makes his way back to site. Gets the bomb planted down, but Moore is going to charge him. As soon as he sticks his head up, he will be dealt with, and JJH immediately find the response.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this a bit more. We're getting some back and forth here on Vertigo. Pretty different dynamic to how Inferno played out. Even Mirage, when we look at that second half, being so decisive for NASR as well. So perhaps this is a bit more of an even ground for the decider than we thought. The back and forth, though, would favour NASR if they can keep it up. Eventually, JJH's economy will suffer big time, especially since they're all the way down at the 1400 loss bonus right now. With this still being a pretty decent buy for NASR, with an op mixed in there as well, a couple of Galils, 2 AKs, there definitely is a chance for them to immediately swing back as they did before. Looking like they're keeping it pretty standard as well. Most of their players focusing over towards that ramp control early on. I think JJH, though, are going to show a bit more presence themselves.
There's been a lot of early success for the T side on this ramp control. The problem is the smoke spans are lethal, and Facecrack just on the edge of one does open things up. Bibu goes down. Utility chips away. Early man advantage found for JJH as they back out of it. Happy with that man advantage to hold their ankles. JJHDavCost battle AWPing, finds the pick onto Propler. This one starts to sink away now. JJHDavCost still battle AWPing it, still finding purchase, swinging wide for another, finally taken out by Almeza. But it's NASR's first kill of the round, and it leaves him out in no man's land. Face crack with a quick kill. JJH again starting to really find their feet with these rifles.
Yeah, it's starting to become a little bit of an issue here for NASR, you've got to say. While they have been still keeping most of these rounds pretty challenging, you've got to remember they started things off quite decisively. Instead now likely going to be giving away the 7-5 lead. They're stuck just towards just on pistols and Kevlar, a few nades behind it as well. Very quick rush up the ramp. There's been quite a few aggressive peeks around the sandbag, so I guess hoping to be able to catch someone off guard, maybe steal away a weapon. And while they do get face crack, there's still Meztal here alongside, I believe it's JJHDavCost as well. Unfortunately, none of the weapons are going to be recoverable, not the one that they dropped anyway, as they get cleaned up. Not much of a fight considering the investment they put in, but they will now be coming back onto the full buy. And they need to get this one really, otherwise it's probably going to spiral out of control into potentially a 10-5 half, at the very least 9-6.
Yeah, that rush up the ramp is always a little bit nasty, the utility, especially in those early moments. So much damage, you saw it there, 2 mollies, HEs, you're in essentially a funnel that you're trying to charge up. If you haven't got counter utility, it becomes very difficult to get anything going. As you said though, this round starts to feel critical. Moore is pushing the issue mid. He's got to clear his corners though, and his barrel will give him away, so an early pick. First time in a while the rifles of NASR have found themselves in a 5-on-4. And a relatively freely given one at that. Currently mostly queued up around the ace site. JJHmeztal, edge of the smoke, caught by Propler. 3v5, this is much more like it from the rifles.
Yeah, just a burst of life out of nowhere, basically. Definitely given some help with the aggression that was attempted around mid earlier on, as face crack is taken down low. JJHDavCost gets caught there with horrible timing as well. This round rather just spirals out for JJH. Phoenix finally putting in a bit of effort, taking back 1 kill, but they're just going to run back now with the bomb, take it towards B, and even leave a couple players here just so that they can finish him off with no hope of a weapon being saved.
Nice result. And a big opportunity now, as you said. If it went wrong, 10-5 felt like a spiral. This one, the money is breaking for JJH. JJHDavCost down on a deagle. If NASR find this, an 8-7 is very possible, very plausible. Full rifles up, AWP in the hands of Realize once again. Pressure to be applied over towards this A side. JJHDavCost gonna press the issue, playing the lane with Deagle. Gonna go for something a little cheeky here, knowing that they're lacking the firepower. Face crack's gonna get a boost up. See if he can spot anything on this ramp. Try and get that M4 singing early. Of course, becomes a human totem pole, but for now, nothing seen, nothing gained for the CT side.
Yeah, sticking to a relatively passive setup at the moment, as you said. Deep smoke put down on the ramp though, so it looks like they might actually want to take the later control here over towards ramp. Fortunately, it's going to be an easy task, as you can see, with NASR still holding the control. I think more so trying to bait NASR into moving forward so that that stack, the boost that they have in place, can finally do something.
Oh, it's a rough one though. It's commonly pre-fired as well. That nade did not do much.
Strange.
40 seconds left. It's got a chance here. They're looking for it. They're thinking about it. Realize yet to see anything at all. There's the boost. Face crack gets the first. Now they'll swing off the back of it right as the spam's coming through. It's Meztal with 1. Unfortunate not to get the second, but he's bought his team a 5-on-3. Swinging wide. The flashbangs are good. Meztal grabs his second of the round, and this is falling apart at the seams. Blue Phoenix looking to pin them into this and make absolutely sure there is nothing to be gained. Remind is last alive. The mid lurk working his way into the ramp late, and he's got a decision to make here. Save that AK or die. You've got to do one on the other, buddy. And it's going to be the death. 8th on the board for JJH. A stunning response, and one that should give them, well, it does give them a guaranteed lead at the half, but gives them a lovely platform for a 9th round as well.
Yeah, Remind has good money because of the loss bonus as well, so it definitely was the better idea to just go down there. 6 isn't a terrible T-side in fairness for NASR, but it's just they established a foundation of this so early on that they definitely would have been hoping for more. 7, 8 at least, I think would have been the goal earlier on in this half. Right now, 7 is looking, well, pretty difficult to achieve. The buy is pretty solid, at least only 1 Tech 9 in there, somewhat limiting them. But again, nothing really too crazy in the early stages. They're going to wait it out, eventually start moving up for this ramp control and see if there's going to be any picks available. And considering JJH are playing pretty much in the same positions as they do every round, we will find some fights for sure.
JJHDavCost looking to battle orbit on the lane again as he opens things up. Multiple bodies, a little bit of spam damage for face crack. The HE will continue to chip away where he started. He wants more and he adjusts to get it. Propler swung wide onto the AWP spam. Gets taken out for his trouble. Moore finds the mid flank, and at this point, goes from bad to worse, in all honesty. 2v4. Realize tagged down to 21 HP. Short of a miracle, this should be a 9th round on the board now. Realize he's having a battle AWP his way up the lane. How much can you really ask of an AWP on 21 HP trying to work his way up alley? Bomb on the back of Bibu. They haven't got enough utility to really execute in. A couple of smokes, sure, but that won't lock out much. And JJHDavCost is just staring down the barrel of this ramp. Picks off Bibu. That's bomb down. 20 seconds left. They'll swarm the reinforcements in. And Realize on low HP, well, he is doomed. Meztal finds the final kill. It's a 9-6 half. It's a solid first half for JJH, but still all to play for.
Oh, for sure, but it was a fantastic turnaround from the position they were initially in. I'm going to get the match page up so I can actually see the round tracker exactly, because it was the early stretch of 3 rounds, even 4-1 that went the way of NASR before it begun to turn around. So, what, 8 out of the last, like, I don't know, I had the number. Do you know what's weird, Wolfie? I had the number initially when I started the sentence because I'd already gone over it all in my mind, and now it's just gone. It's just been such a long day. It's been like that.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I could hear it happening. Like,
yeah.
And I've been there, so I fully knew what was happening. You had this sentence, you had this idea that you wanted to impart knowledge, you wanted to give the viewers, and then it just sort of idles away, just flies out of your ears, and you never know what you're after again. Oh man.
Well, it's been rough for, well, both us and NASR during that half, I've got to say. But yeah, either way, my point that I was making towards that the momentum had shifted toward JJH as the half went on more and more. It does stand. It was a few loose rounds. Nothing was chained together bar the initial 3 from NASR. So even being able to scrape out the 6 was, I would say, a little bit of a miracle how it was going. But here we go. They've readied up. We're into the second pistol round, and well, there's a lot of weight on this one.
Time to ask some major questions. This pistol could well make or break NASR's RMR hopes. Bibu picks up the defused. Smoke to follow. Nothing too fancy for JJH at all. Meztal late picks up 1 smoke, 1 molly. Just looking to brawl it out. Up the ramp they head early. Realize takes the early peek and gets his head ripped off. Face crack opens things. Early 5v4 now. Bibu blocks the smoke. Tries to give himself a little bit of breathing room. Up the lane they charge. The bomb is actually on the back of JJHDavCost, and that is headed out to B. This is all an elaborate ruse, but the CT side have not really fallen for it. Remind has rotated in, and he's got the angle. He's got a perfect timing here. Picks off JJHDavCost. Now Moore is alone. Needs that kill and finds it. That's bomb. He will recover it, and they will double back again. Now the call is that FaceCrack's worked his way all the way up the A site. Nobody's home. he's going to start calling for the reinforcements, but he's caught in no man's land by Propler. They're overcomplicating it, GG How, and that may well be their undoing. 3 on 3. Everyone is home for both sides, and Propler continuing to find damage. Finally put down by Moore in an even situation as they charge this site. It's all on Moore. A monstrous round, but he needs one more. Tags up the P2K, but it's Bibu who comes out on top. NASR brawling back and forth. No idea what was going on, but they make the landing stick.
Thankfully so, because it was looking like Moore had the clutch in him there. A little bit of damage had already been done on towards Bibu in the back as well, so he needed that instant headshot, and he is able to land. Fortunately so. A force bite out coming right in from GG How. Not really willing to sit back. The problem is if this does go south for them, then suddenly it's tied up at 9-9, and it really is anyone's game at that point still. But again, worth noting, NASR, despite picking up the pistol in the following round in the previous half, still weren't able to come away with it as much as they would have wanted. A nice spray down on the FAMAS. Not my favourite of weapons, but clearly Almazar is able to make it work. And, well, Bibu only getting one on his M4, unfortunately. A couple of rifles here that can potentially be recovered. At the very least, do a small bit more damage.
I was about to say, there's an opportunity. How much can they make of it? JJHDavCost playing top the smoke. Yet to really be given an opportunity, though. Blue Phoenix will start to make some noise over towards B. Also have to clear out the close angles. Problem is, again, that MP9 inside a hot site, absolutely lethal. With JJHDavCost still waiting, still trying to catch a rotation. It's a dink from Blue Phoenix, but not the kill. Down to 16 HP. Support inside of the site from Propler now. Blue Phoenix. Oh, he's playing with the edge of the smoke. Remind yet to spot him. JJHDavCost is trying to work his way back around with bomb. There's a flank coming in the meanwhile, though. Blue Phoenix goes down, and now JJHDavCost, with 30 seconds left, has got to make this flank land. Propler walks in, he lines 2 of them up, knocks them both down, and it's on to realizing the 1v1, but JJHDavCost has got no idea where he is. He swings as soon as that bomb goes down and rescues another round for NASR.
Understandably just not expecting everyone to be over towards B. Fortunately, that was the case. NASR with 3 there, thankfully so as well, because otherwise things really could have gone wrong there. Instead, one player left standing. They have a chance with multiple SMGs to hopefully try and build up their economy a small bit here in this round, but at the moment, the damage that was done could be an issue if GG How are able to get even a couple of kills out of this one. Ideally, they want to avoid getting murdered by the MP9s, though. If they could find Propler, that would be nice. Not only to give away a bit less money, but because his stats aren't that great right now. Help him out.
Remarkably wholesome from Dean, but I don't think GG How are going to be concerning themselves too much. As you said, not running into the MP9s. It's always rough when you look at a round and you say, oh, what's the best thing that can happen? I don't die to an SMG, but it really is the reality. If maybe a bit of damage could be done onto GG How by these demons from NASR, that would be great. A tag onto Propler's a nice start, but it's baiting them into the MP9s. JJHmeztal gets another in mid, and now the swing from Sandbags. Realize using that mag to full effect, spamming them down, getting all the kills. Bibu nicks the last one, but it's the MP9s that get it done. And it's the MP9s that level us out, 9 apiece. As we head towards the death of this third map. One team will make the RMR, one team will go home empty-handed, and it is all to play for here, Dean.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure we'd be getting an exciting third map, but it definitely does seem to be coming. It's had its moments anyway. Not as back and forth as some of the moments we had maybe in map 1 or even yesterday, especially on the first 2 maps. A couple MP9s, or actually 3 of them being kept over into this round. It's not quite a full bonus. Realize wouldn't be able to buy the op out in the following, but they'd still be sitting pretty with rifles. Surprisingly though, they're not playing a very aggressive style. You'd think they would have liked to have gotten those MP9s a bit more forward, whether it's around mid, down on B towards the stairs, or maybe even push down ramp. They seem happy enough mostly to sit back. Bard is late peek there on the flash. Very good damage connected onto Blue Phoenix.
Unlucky not to get the kill there. He's going to go back for more, and it has actually forced them out of the B site. That's some really nice information gained now for NASR. They can actually back away from that B site a little bit. You see the rotations on the minimap starting to work their way round into mid. Knowing with what little time they have left, likely they won't work it back to B. It is going to be up this A ramp. 45 seconds as the utility starts to ring out. Gives the game away a little bit. Bomb yet to be spotted, so they won't gamble the rotation yet. They need to leave Almeza in mid just in case. Boost up gets one, but it's a dink through the wall in response. Propler brought down, and now an isolated Bibu is the first victim of face crack. Realize next up on the AWP, and a lethal headshot lands onto him. Man advantage out of nowhere is found for JJH as they look to swarm this A site. Bodies are still here for NASR. Molotov onto the default plant with 15 seconds left. Could prove critical, but it's NASRbibu on the backstab who gets two. And that should be the round. Bomb gets planted. Propler, I mean, 1v3 out of hell. I don't think there's anything he can really do. It might be tempting to try and save that rifle now.
They need to. He can drop over to Realize, and then they have a pretty solid buy. I mean, the main issue was that they weren't going to have a weapon on Realize, at least not an M4, especially not an op. Now they could potentially even drop an op. He'll have dead on enough, right? They get 1400. JJH finding some life, rather, at least into this first gun round. It is a very good sign. And it was despite initially going down by a man. Face crack just pops off out of nowhere, and then they managed to just hold off a few moments, waiting on that flank with good communication, knowing that Meztal, he had the better of them.
Big round to be found. As you said, it was a little bit of a bonus though, so the buys will keep coming. Not going to get any easier yet for JJH. If they get over this one, the economy breaks. Full rifles out, only real sacrifice on NASR as the FAMAS for remind, and again a little bit of utility lacking. JJHDavCost wants the boost, wants to see if he can find something, and he can. Top of the smoke, Propler shows a little too much. Early man advantage, and again JJH just going to slow it down completely off the back of it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. NASR are the ones feeling the pressure. They already have limited utility in this buy, and now with a man disadvantage, they may be forced to make a play somewhere, whether it's to equalize the numbers or just at least get some info and maybe allow for some sort of a stack to be put in place. Remind not wanting to take that risk over towards B anyway, and well, I think he actually just might make his way back towards A, leaving B potentially open. No, he changes his mind at the last second. Might have been the right idea, but it's still a bit too early to tell either way. So we'll focus back on the ramp where eventually some contact will be found. Decent kill by Almeza, but he takes so much damage in the meantime, and with Bibu going down especially now, it does become a problem. Face crack again opens up the bomb site, and Molly to force Remind out of position, and well, they should be getting this bomb down as the smokes just carpet the bomb site.
Realize has got a bit of an angle to work with from on high. The wallbang very nearly connecting. In fact, connecting both times, but not enough to find the kill. Couldn't quite nail the headshot. And I think without that damage being confirmed, without that early pick, Remind wants nothing more to do with this. He's gone for a wander in mid to try and find a rifle. Save will be called. They'll live to fight another day, but it's an 11th round for JJH, and this game's slowly starting to slip away from NASR now. That T side consistently finding a way to break things open.
Shout out to JJHDavCost overall, who's having a really good game as well. Usually fairly consistent on that op, but not always necessarily at the top of the scoreboard, especially not by this massive margin. So it is kind of the difference maker that they needed. Realize hasn't been having a bad game by any means. No one has on NASR. They actually have a pretty solid team effort there between them. Only a 5 frag disparity between the top and the bottom fragger, so everyone's doing their part. Unfortunately, you need someone to give that extra push if they really want to wake up here and get things going again on the CT side. Obviously, they did manage to do a decent job initially, turning things around, rather bringing it back up towards 9 after winning the pistol for themselves. But since the guns have come out so far, JJH have just had the better of them.
Just been able to lock them out. A little too easy at times. Saving a couple of rifles here, though, will give them something to work with. Force up a little bit as well as CZ, a couple of flashbangs to try and give themselves an angle to work with. Something to bring a little bit of bite to this round. Knowing that this game is starting just slowly, quietly to slip away from this CT side. Mind aggressive down B, though, gets a lot of information for the team. You can see the rotation starting to come into Vectors. JJH works his way into mid. Bomb still dropped. Very passive opening moments here. JJH not wanting to make any mistake, take any kind of risk. Molotovs go in towards the stairwell, trying to isolate this fight. Nice HE on to remind. The molly won't flush him out, though. Doesn't quite land as intended, and I'm not sure Blue Phoenix will necessarily expect him to be here now. As he looks to escape, JJHDavCost will swing, and he'll get it. Remind, the AK gone now. JJHmeztal up close and personal, the next victim. Blue Phoenix quick on the draw to find the second, and it's pulling every rotation. The AWP has been pulled. There's an awful fight in towards Spawn, but Moore has got his AWP backed up. And in amongst the chaos, they've worked out where most of the firepower is. Phoenix takes out the CZ, and it's just onto the AWP. Realize, stuck in heaven. Nothing he can do as Blue Phoenix takes him down. NASR's economy split. The AWP no longer available, no longer affordable to them. And JJH going from strength to strength.
Yeah, I mean, it's really been a bit of a step up since they got the guns out since that first gun round. And I'm not even talking about this half, I'm talking about the previous one as well. As we mentioned, I did finally remember the number. It was they had taken 8 out of the last 10 rounds of the half, which was, I mean, pretty simple since it was 4-1 at the point I was trying to reference from. I don't know what happened. As we were saying, Wolfie, sometimes the brain gives up. But overall, NASR have just been getting the scraps, really.
Yeah.
Oh, how do you get that off angle so easily?
Lean as you like. Opens things up, finds that man advantage again. Old teammates, now enemies. FaceCrack gets the better of him on this occasion. Man advantage found, and again, they're playing this so passively, so slowly. They're not giving NASR anything to work with. They start to clear their way out the ramp. There is a stack here for the CT side. 3 men present, and at the moment, they are going to be tested. Plenty of presence on that A site to receive this hit. If they can get something done here, if they can find a couple of picks, this will be viable. 40 seconds left. Aggressive boost. Molotov to clear out the sandbags, but there's utility to counter. Realize just has to buy time. They dismantle the boost, though. And with 30 seconds left, this starts to look rough. Realize taking a lot of nade damage. Propler tagged up as well, but they're not in yet. Time started to run out now. FaceCrack goes wide, but on low HP, Propler will deal with him. Multiple bodies inside of this site. Blue Phoenix gets one, and it's a demolition job. JJHDavCost taking out his own teammate in the madness. Leaves it even in a 3-on-3. Moore will at least get that bomb down, but the HE will do work. They're trying to isolate the man on site itself, but it's not working. Meztal's got him backed up. Bibu last alive, 33 HP. I think they know where to look as well. They're setting up the crossfire. Low HP on JJH, but it will not matter. Moore gets the job done. 13 on the board. The economy breaks again for the CT side. And NASR just can't get a handle on things.
No, I don't know what is going on with them. I mean, ever since the previous map, really, they've just been kind of missing. We had just such a tremendous showing on Mirage. The first half, they were able to keep it back and forth. They were looking solid, and then they went to the CT side and looked unstoppable. They've just been only really showing up for a few rounds at a time, it seems, since then. Having a bit of a chat at the very least, but most of their focus has got to be on this next round when they actually can afford to get the guns out again. For now, they're stuck on pistols, and they're going to need to pretty much be flawless unless they want to be stuck playing for an overtime from that point onwards.
Starting to really run out of opportunities here. Steal on a round like this would go a long way. It is a long way from home. Meztal opens things up. Almeza goes down on the first of the Deegs. Handful of smokes available for NASR as well if they want to try and stall out any kind of proposed site hit. Problem is already a man down, and JJH playing this the same way they have every single time. Just slow, thoughtful, not giving anything away in the opening moments. Working their way through the map control. Remind's going to go through this, I think. Bit of a gap on the edge of the smoke, and it will be punished. Blue Phoenix goes down. He wants that rifle so desperately, though, and Moore is there to back his man up. The trade is found. The man advantage is maintained. With 55 seconds left on the clock, JJH need to find a bit of grouping here. Need to hit one of these sites.
Fortunately, it's only going to be realized on this A-bomb site. They've taken the stack to gamble over towards B, which, I mean, it is a risk after all, a gamble. It's not always going to pay off, but unfortunately, it does leave them very weak here where the hit does come true. Realize trapped in between two mollies, I believe. They're actually going to spread and start burning him, unfortunately. Thankfully, he's able to get at least one kill before he goes down, but I don't think it's going to be enough to give his teammates any real chance in this retake right now. They haven't got a kit. They're stuck only on pistols and Kevlar, of course, and, well, maybe a bit of damage can be done, sure.
A smoke. There's a little bit of room to work with. Without the defuse kit, it becomes surely impossible. Two players in the side lane as well. Just no chance to get into it. 14 on the board. JJH 2 rounds away from the RMR. 2 rounds away. And this is it. This is the gamble now from NASR. Double up setup is pulled. Almeza and Realize with duty. Can that be the difference maker is the question. Or will it be too little too late? Good utility available. This is it. This is the last roll of the dice now for NASR. If this doesn't work, it's over.
Yeah, and I mean, the double op setup normally lets you know that there's not a lot of ideas left in the bank either, so the hope is that they can alleviate some pressure. Maybe both could find some early success, give them an advantage to sit with. It really is all or nothing at this point. Much slower from JJH on their default, though, waiting out the initial utility around the ramp, putting down their own smoke now, and they'll just slowly start advancing forward for scaffolding control. Doesn't really seem like NASR are going to go for any sort of early peaks at all. Sitting back, holding on to whatever utility they can, and just hoping the ops will eventually have someone walk into their crosshairs.
Maybe. I mean, it's not sustainable, is it? But it's an idea. Minute left on the clock, and to be fair, for the first time in a while, it's still an even 5-on-5. JJH just prodding.
Can't fail if you don't
not
try.
finding anything yet. Here comes the reaggression. JJHDavCost, multiple bodies in his way. Still finds one before he goes down. Deals with Bibu. Quick trade. They're going to try and pop the B site simultaneously. Meztal isolated, and Remind quick on the draw to double it. Needed that kill desperately to keep his team in things here. 30 seconds left in the 2-on-4. They have managed to work a man up A here. Face crack in a very advanced position. Propler not expected, though. Up on self boost. Clean shot, and this should be double digits now. NASR got something to write home about. The double up setup lands their first round in a long old while.
Nice, and very decisively as well. Wasn't quite the team ace, I don't think, but not far off. Keeping both ops standing importantly as well, so they can get their nades back out, and this time have a lot more utility behind it. Obviously, that was a joke when I said can't fail if you don't try, but when you're on the CT side, you're always trying to actively run down the time. It was just a very passive hold, and it was a bit reminiscent of the way they were turtling up on Inferno on their CT side as well, which didn't work out too well for them. But with the double op setup, it does make some sense. As I said, kind of just wait for them to step into your crosshair, especially with how aggressive JJH have been playing. They've been pretty willing to take peeks and do so dryly at points as well, without the flashes.
Yeah, more than happy to. This time looking to work the B site early on, that stairwell. More trusted as the solo anchor of the A ramp. Remind, a little isolated. Nade goes in, chips away at DavCost. This headshot angle's a good one for the rifle. Minute and 15. And again, JJH, without that early pick, those early seconds, they do seem to get a little bit stalled. Minute and 5 left. No map control really to speak of. JJH remains posted on mid. 3 players back on the A site, turreting it up again. Where do you look to take this if you're JJH? You've really got nothing to work with yet. Up the ramp. Molotov goes in, 35 seconds left. They're going to try and barrel it out onto A. Just hope to catch a timing. Molotov forces realize back. Smoke goes in though, and with 30 seconds left, this starts to get very chaotic. 3 bodies inside of the site, 4th on a fast rotation. Plenty of presence there. DavCost flashing himself into the angle, and it will be an early pick, but they need so much more with that game. From 18 seconds left, Problem from the top ropes. 2, 3 on the spray down, and it's another demolition job. JJH, without those opening picks, they don't seem to be able to break it open. Meztal gets 1, but it's the save. 11 on the board for NASR, and this might be the economy breaker for JJH too.
Counter-terrorists win.
Yeah, this is beginning to show some signs of life, especially with the economy now being very, very rocky for JJH. They'll be able to get a small investment, but NASR should have a chance to hopefully stabilize their own economy with that double up being so important over these past couple of rounds as well. They're going to need that moving forward. What's the plan for JJH? Taking a while actually to get out of spawn. I don't think they meant to drop the bomb onto the stairs. A few players up towards mid and maybe a B split, which we haven't really seen much of, surprisingly.
I like the idea. They want to try and run down that AWPer with the techs, and I don't mind it at all. JJH, the secondary AWP in towards middle. Multiple bodies queued up. The nade should do a lot of work, but it just falls a little shallow. Chips away. Smoke to keep JJH out of the early fight. M4A1 spam will do something, and JJH gets 1. FaceCrack looks to split them as they charge into B, but JJH is live to the threat, and 3 quick kills, 4 all in favor of NASR, who seem to have found the magic formula for their CT side at the moment. Looked like it was done and dusted. Now just 2 rounds the difference. The half by gutted. All 5 players kept alive. Economy blossoming for NASR. They are back in this.
Two in the difference, yeah, as you said, right back in. I don't think we're going to even see the full buy. I mean, might want to go for it, but they're not going to have much utility behind that, and it's a bit risky. Meztal will probably be stuck on a Galil as well. And then if that goes south, suddenly you're tied at 14-14. So they're definitely trying to work out exactly what they want to do here. There might be a couple players who have to even take Galils just so they can get the nades to work with. Yeah, that's going to be the case, as you can see. It's a decent enough investment, but there's so much on the line right now with it coming down to these final few rounds to decide who actually moves forward into the Asian RMR. The pressure certainly is mounting.
Certainly is. This is where it really starts to make or break players. 14-12 up, the RMR just 2 rounds away, but JJH seemingly have lost their way. They don't seem to be able to find the formula to crack this double AWP setup. Or down on 21 HP from the early nades. Where do they go with this? They're not getting the early picks that they were previously. Now that NASR are turtling, settling into the sites, they're not finding the kills, and seems to be causing them major issues. An absolute stalemate in these opening moments again. JJH so passive, working their way up. Bomb outside of B, couple of players probing the A site, if nothing else than to keep the rotations honest. And it is going to be this pop out towards the B site. FaceCrack dropping a little utility. Hoping to keep these A-site players busy. Their counter util comes in. FaceCrack makes all the noise in the world, and here it goes. Remind to be tested up on this B site as they creep round his smoke. In fact, boosting over the top of it is Meztal. He should see him. He should know. Right, the smoke's awkward, but he will get it. Big opening pick. Bibu now solo inside of this B site. The reinforcements looking to swarm as quickly as they can. They will get somewhere, but Bibu's taken down. Molotov isolates the fights as well as the bomb looks to make its transfer. Smoke to continue making this awkward, and FaceCrack is on the flank. He's on the long mission. Propler low on HP will go down. And it's 2v5. It's a double AWP retake. Surely not possibly viable. Surely series point for JJH, and I think they're starting to realize that now as they back the AWPs away from this situation. JJH have bought themselves 3 chances at the RMR.
Yeah, sometimes you see teams falter when they get up there, but JJH, I'm sure they're more than inspired right now to just get this across the finish line before what was looking to be the start of a comeback from NASR is able to be finished. A clean round as well, just as they need. Not an easy one by any means, in terms of keeping it clean. 3 players were pretty close to death, but either way, they're left standing. The 2 ops, the main weapons being saved over as well, so that they can go ahead and share the love, I would imagine, dropping some weapons over. Ensure all of the nades are going to be in play. Look to try and get a stretch of 3 rounds, which is very doable. By no means is this over yet. The overtime certainly possible, and it would be a fitting way, I'd say, to close out this qualifier.
Certainly would. Question is, can they get there? Like you said, double AWP setup still available. Not necessarily replicable the way that JJH got their 15th. A little bit of luck, a little bit of fortune, playing around the edges of smokes. They've bought themselves their best chance yet. JJHDavCost leading the charge, 27 and 18. Been the orchestrator of so much of this T side for JJH, and one more time he's got to find a way to crack the defense. One more time. 3 players over towards A early on. Fairly default lean initially, and again, a relatively passive hold. The only peak is realized down that A ramp. Wants something, wants blood, but it's JJHDavCost who finds it instead. Out mid, deals with Almez. A secondary AWP gone in the opening moments. An early 5v4 for JJH. First time in a while they found themselves in this kind of a situation.
Yeah, an aggressive push at least down on the ramp to try and get rid of some of the disadvantage that they have from losing that early player. They have early info at the very least if the push comes back in this direction. It's not going to be the case though. It's actually, as we can see, a B push overall. Just 1 player lurking around here, hoping to keep them busy and delay rotations from coming in. You do see Remind, of course, though, able to spot this little team coming in, so he should have a pretty good idea that they are trying to sell a ruse. Unfortunately, he can't do anything about it. Immediately going down, forcing Bibu's hand in the rotation to try and get quickly into position. The smokes, though, don't give him much view, and he just gets domed with like 2 bullets through it.
Propler trying to get something, trying to drag him back in, but it's 2v4, 1v4. Meztal puts him down, and Propler on 8 HP cannot get it done. It's JJH, your final contestants in the Asia RMR. And what a way to do it. Going down on Mirage, the most comprehensive performance we've seen from NASR, but they drag themselves back over Inferno. They scrap their way through Vertigo, and they get it done at last.